All right. So everybody knows how much I love retatrutide and GLP-1s. They're amazing for breaking type 2 diabetes and helping people lose weight and all the things. There are a couple of things that you need to watch for, and there's some actual real dangers we need to talk about. One of the big ones we look at is cholecystitis, liver bile issues. Making sure your methylated B vitamins are up, specifically methylated B6. Making sure you're taking something to help increase bile flow is important. You can use all sorts of things for that. We use TUDCA and coffee enemas and castor packs and all sorts of things. But making sure that that flow is open, functional, established is important, because if your body hasn't been using fat as a fuel source, your body's going to need your liver to kind of process that stuff, especially if you're on Reta, because Reta is going to help process everything through your liver. So keeping liver functional and flowing is important. The other one, muscle wasting. We talked about this. Testosterone, growth hormone, protein, and moving. Now, the real actual biggest thing that we need to talk about is that the reason why some of these things are dangerous is because they work. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people, for some reason, think that underneath their fat is this beautifully ripped body that they just take the fat off and they can go get on stage, and they're just like, oh, I've got a six-pack underneath this fat, and like I've got really awesome pecs and legs under this. You don't if you're not working out. So here's what happens. A lot of people will lose 10, 15 pounds and they're like, oh, this is great. And they're like, well, I mean, I'll just stand a little bit longer and lose some more and like really look good. The problem is that if you're not developing the musculature underneath the fat, it's not there when you take away the fat. And so your butt doesn't look as good, your face doesn't look as good, your chest, your arms, none of that stuff looks the way you think it's going to, because you're not building it at the same time. So one of the most important things that you can do if you're thinking about using a GLP-1 or retatrutide or any of these new peptides, which are fantastic, not knocking the peptides. Again, it's a tool, use it right. You got to start lifting. You got to start exercising. You got to start pushing yourself. And if you want to grow muscle, you've got to take yourself to failure. Now, you can do that a couple different ways. You can lift heavy weight for low reps, or you can lift moderate weight for higher reps. But at the end, if you can do 10, great. Did you try to do 11? Did you try to do 12? Did you fail? Did you show your body, hey, we're not capable of doing the things I'm asking you to do. You have to do something else. You have to get better. Your body is amazing at being efficient. And so if it's like, we need to produce this much muscle tissue because this is what our life requires, it will produce and hold this much. I've got a lot of people who get to a certain point and they plateau and they're like, I haven't gained any more muscle tissue. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, are you still going to failure? And they think about it. They're like, no. They're like, I get my sets. I get my 6 or I get my 10. And then I go on and I'm like, well, try to get one more. Like, the key to growing muscle is one more. So you just do one more until you can't do any more on each set, you'll be fine. So the big thing that everybody really needs to recognize is that if you haven't built the muscle, if you haven't maintained the muscle, it's not there. So if you lose all this fat, you're going to be sticky. Your skin might get a little saggy. You might, not have a butt anymore. You might lose your hips, those type of things. So keep that in mind. So as you start getting into this, you're like, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. Fantastic. You might want to start building some muscle tissue underneath it so you maintain in some type of skeletal form, so that you have the rounded butt, so that you have the arms and you have definition and stuff like that. Because I've talked to a lot of people, and and this is fine. This is how you want it to go, because we all have our different paths. But people will come in and they're like, I just need to lose 15, 20 pounds. I'm like, well, why don't I help you with a workout? And they're like, I'm not going to work out. I don't need that. I just need to lose 20 pounds. Like, all right. If they lose 15 or 20 pounds, they call me back and they go, hey, let's talk about that workout thing. I need to start working out because, I don't and now I've lost the fat. I've got some more energy and this, that, but I need to start, I don't look the way I thought I was going to. I'm like, okay. So the real danger about this is that they work, and they work really well. So think about that as you're getting into it. If you're like, I just need to take off some weight. If you're already working out and you're like, I just need to lean out, phenomenal. Jump on, let's cut it down, awesome. If you've got type 2 diabetes, let's worry about your diabetes more than the way you look, and let's knock down that type 2 diabetes. But let's all keep in the back of our heads, If we took off 20 or 25, 30 pounds of fat, you're not ripped unless you've been building that muscle ahead of time. So keep that in your head. And if you're like, all right, I'm going to get into these things, fantastic. And for the vast majority of you, even if you don't build the muscle, it's going to be wildly more beneficial to your health to drop all the visceral fat, to drop all the adipose tissue, to reset your muscle to fat ratio and get that fat off. And you're going to be much healthier. That's not the question. The question is, are you going to like the way you look? And I'm telling you, a lot of people aren't as fired up with themselves as they thought they'd be. And then they're like, now I'm going to build a muscle tissue, which is fine. You took, 3 to 5 months to lose all the fat. And then all of a sudden you recognize you need to lift. Great. Because lifting is going to take you a lot longer. I would just recommend you start early. If you guys have any questions, hit us up, questions@chalmerswellness.com, or drop them in the comments. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for your time.